Ciao a tutti, siamo qua per l'intervista con Radiofonica. Io sono Giulia dell'Associazione Culturale Female Affair e qui abbiamo anche Sergio dell'Associazione Culturale SuperNova Culture e siamo qua questa sera per intervistare due importantissimi DJ della scena della black music a livello internazionale, nonché i produttori e conduttori di una delle più famose web radio a livello internazionale, che è WeFunk Radio. Quindi noi qui abbiamo Mike, DJ Static, e Nick, Professor Groove, e ora le faremo un paio di domande in inglese, quindi ragazzi ripassatevi l'inglese, poi capirete l'intervista. Ok, we can start with a classical, how can I say, question. When did you meet for the first time?
We met for the first time in 1996 when we started university at McGill University in Montreal. We were first-year students, and we were interested in music, radio, and then luckily the university offered a station for students to volunteer and get some experience with radio firsthand. So we volunteered, we did some training, and then we were paired up randomly for a training program that runs 15 minutes. And that's actually how we met. We didn't know each other before, really. So yeah, there's a lot of chance involved with WeFunk kind of coming together. But once we met, we realized that he listened to a lot of funk and soul. I listened to more hip hop, and then we saw the connection between the two music, like the older and then the evolution into hip hop. And back in the 90s, there was still a lot of sampling, maybe more than now even. We submitted a proposal to do a show. It was accepted, and yeah, we've been doing a show weekly ever since. Okay. Almost 20 years.
Okay,
yeah. Almost 20 years. Yeah, I'm older than look. Yeah, 96, yeah.
Okay, so good.
Anything to add?
You already answered to the other question. It was about the radio, so you already...
Would you like to say another for?
No, we're easy.
Oh, okay. The second question is... where you when you play music at the radio, or you create the radio program, you feel in both situation similar, or there is a situation that start another kind of feelings? Okay, and another time. Okay, when do you make some program radio, no? Yeah. Or you play music? Is the same situation?
You mean like DJ?
Yes, yeah. You play music by DJ.
Okay.
Being a DJ, you feel at the same feelings, or you prefer to play music than or be a DJ?
Well, when we play on the radio, we DJ, like we mix the songs. So in some ways it's quite similar to when we're playing like in a club in front of a crowd. In other ways it's different because you don't have people dancing, you don't have people like all together and that kind of chemistry that you get when you have a bunch of people in a place all experiencing the music at once. But like with that also comes some freedom when you're doing the radio show to really like you don't have to. There's a lot of music that maybe wouldn't be appropriate for a dance floor, but it's still great. It still fits into the the vibe of what we do as DJs and in the radio show. So it gives us a chance to really kind of explore some different sounds on the radio. Some of it danceable, some of it more chill or whatever. Like to get into more like jazz influenced stuff or soul or whatever. Yeah. As for which I prefer, I prefer to keep doing both because I love both. Like there's nothing that can compare to just that energy of playing for a bunch of people, getting wild, to music in a club setting. But I really enjoy that freedom too that comes with radio. So I wouldn't want to give either of them up.
Thank you. I just know only one emotion because I never play in front of the people. I just made a web program, so okay. And I would like to ask you also another I think that this question, a lot of people do it to you, but I think it's also all the time. It's nice to know if there are some specific song that's you love and express your idea of. Yeah, of course. There is not.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's always a hard question. I can never answer it right. Well, my main influence is '90s hip hop. Like for me, that all the timeless albums came out like kind of between '92, '95. Those are my influences, and I definitely cannot choose three out of those. Like, but I just saw, well, Nas, Wu-Tang, Biggie, Mobb Deep, even older stuff like. Actually, my first exposure, like my influence, late '80s when I first moved to Canada. Like the albums back then was Big Daddy Kane, Public Enemy, even Ice-T, N.W.A. Just, but in terms of, for us as DJs, and we've been in DJing for 20 years, it's not so much about top albums. It's like the constant evolution of music and our intake of new music every day. So yeah, it's my approach to music's not like these are forever my top songs. I'm always hunting for new music.
Yeah, I would answer the question the same way. Whenever someone asks for like a top whatever, whether it be artists or songs or albums, my mind immediately goes blank because there's so many, and I don't normally rank them in my head. I just go whenever I'm playing. It's what I feel in the moment, and one song is right for one moment, another song is right for another moment. But to kind of maybe approach the question the way that Mike did, my influences definitely were like going back to, I guess you could say like the artists that really birthed funk. So it starts with James Brown, you got Sly and the Family Stone, you got Kool and the Gang, then you have the whole big crazy P-Funk, Funkadelic, Parliament. And then, my exploration went into the cracks, and the people that were influenced by them, and on into like the 80s disco era, and just kind of following. That's kind of what the show was about, like kind of following those threads, those influences, the connections between artists, and that that reflects my own musical journey. Like every new show is another step in my musical journey. So. I don't know if that's the question that you asked, but I think it's very important to the show.
Of course, wasn't I say about song, but of course it's logical that could be a song. It could not be a song, but just exactly you explain me. For example, when you arrive at Montreal, so the last 80, or in this genre, or of course you start with the typical, but maybe there are some people that have some specific song they remember the first day in which you decide to be a DJ or something like this. Just for this was the question, but good answer. Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Let's talk about your European tour now. We know that you are in a European tour, and we would like to know if you think that there is, we can speak about musical connection network in USA or Canada or in Europe. We can speak about a musical connection.
You want to take a stab at that?
Well, we've been touring Europe. This year this will be the 10th year that we've toured Europe. I think we first got our invitation in 2004 to Switzerland, and the support's been stronger in Europe for WeFunk, for what we do, than any other part of the world, including North America. Like we play shows here and there, but we would never do like 2 weeks, just every city every day. So Europe definitely has an appreciation for what we do that we don't get to the same extent in North America. I find European crowds very, very open, especially to older music, which is what we specialize in. There's a lot of pressure in North America to play new music, which I also appreciate. But WeFunk is aside of what I do as a DJ, I also do newer music, but I really like to expose the root of music that, especially now with commercial radio, there's no continuity between old and new music. And what we do is lay out the foundation of a lot of music. And to have that opportunity in Europe feels amazing. I kind of wish that opportunity was present in other countries, but we'll take it as it is. Right?
Okay, good. Me, okay, we can do the last question. Of course, you are, and then hit. Sure, I leave to you. Of course, you're in Italy, so you have to eat. Absolutely. Okay. No, I was asking you about Perugia because we catch you during your tour, European tour, yeah. And I would like to know, of course, you weren't so much time here in Perugia, but you go around. So what do you think about Perugia? Also because Perugia is now in competition to be the European culture capital, yeah? And also European yacht capital. So what do you think about Perugia? And because in few days they will decide. So with this interview you can, yeah. No, but it's just a joke. But what do you think about Perugia? I think that it's a good question for us. Okay.
Well, yeah, I haven't been to Italy since I was a kid with my parents. This is my first time basically visiting again as an adult. It's everyone I've met here has been really genuine, like good people. You guys enjoy life. You guys, it's funny. We had a lot of random things. Life in Italy, you expect the unexpected. You just go with the flow. Perugia itself reminds me of cultural capital because we played in Sibiu, Romania, a long time ago. That was a cultural capital too. And in a way, I feel like it's not a huge city, but it's a vibrant city, and people are passionate about what they do. And it's there's a quality of life you don't get in a place maybe like Rome. Like just talking to him about just like it's kind of hectic, it's chaotic, it's not maybe as personal because it's big. Like you guys are like a family from the 3 days I spent here, and that's something important for a cultural capital, I think.
I agree too. That was much more eloquent than I think I would have managed. But yeah, like it's really beautiful. Like the people here are really warm and friendly, and you know I haven't been in many places. Like I'm used to North America, obviously, where when we talk about history, it's a much more recent thing. We've been all over Europe, but I haven't been in so many places where I kind of stepped into it and felt it's really kind of a deep feeling being around like all these old, like tremendously old things that have stood here for so long, and is still like beautiful, and like a resilience in the architecture and everything. So I feel like I should have something poetic to say about it, but it's like few other places that I've been to, and I really appreciate that. I feel lucky to have kind of had these moments to come through Perugia.
Yeah, we hope so. So guys, thank you so much. See you, of course, tonight for the party, and see you also next year. Yes. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.